Okay, so today we will talk about Suzhou traditional garden, and I think I cannot see the chat now. So if you have, let me. Oh yeah, I can see the chat now. Okay. So today we'll talk about Suzhou traditional garden, and we will talk about its architecture, its history, and the plants in that, and also some literary elements in that. I think that I cannot present my slides by just make that full screen. So are you like able to see this like that? I'm really sorry, but like every time I try to like present in full screen, it doesn't work. So today we will focus on Humble Administrator's Garden. And Humble Administrator's Garden was built in Ming Dynasty with over 500 years history. It is a fantastic representative of Chinese classical gardens. It is regarded as the one of the top four gardens in China, and together with Summer Palace in Beijing, Summer Mountain Villa in Chengde, Lingering Garden in Suzhou. So Summer Palace and Summer Mountain Villa are royal gardens, while Humble Administrator's Garden and Lingering Garden are private gardens. So here are the royal gardens. So basically, those architectures that look red and yellow are just in no way similar to the architecture in cities like Suzhou or in most southern cities. And so like Tiananmen Square or like the architecture that is actually on our like the page of the introduction on the way of learning, it is no way similar to the garden that we were introduced today. So like the royal garden, I think that it's not like completely different from traditional garden because it still have like a lot of lakes. They have a lot of architectures called 亭台楼阁, which is like pavilion and which is like bow-like architecture. But it's still like much more extravagant than the private gardens look like. So this is the summer palace, which is called 颐和园. And then this is a private garden, and this is the humble administrator's garden that we will focus today. And this is the photo from Lion Forest, which is one of the four most important gardens in Suzhou. So we have like Lion Forest, humble administrator's garden, and we have lingering garden, and also we have which is called 沧浪亭, so which is called Searching Waving Pavilion. So people like may wonder why the name is called Humble Administrator's Garden. So we have to mention its first owner. The person is called Chen. So he is high-ranking official in Ming Dynasty, and he had experienced a complicated political life and finally gave up his last official post and came back to the hometown Suzhou and began to work on the garden. So actually, a lot of traditional gardens, like private gardens, are built in such way. People are just tired of all the competitions and all the competition that makes them to lose their integrity, makes them need to use lying or coercing to get to the higher position. So they're just tired of that kind of life. And Wang Xianchen has said that I'm not very intelligent, I'm humble, I just want to water my flower, plant my vegetable, and this is my politics. So therefore, I'm a humble administrator. I just want to be a fisherman, a farmer. This is the peaceful life I want to have. So the name shows his fullness of material pursuits. And the garden is built by a person who is called Wen Zhenming, or and the person is also like from Suzhou, so he is Mr. Wang's friend. And he is regarded as one of the four masters of counting in Ming Dynasty and one of the four most famous scholars in the bank of Yangtze River. So like the area on the bank of Yangtze River and southern to the Yangtze River is called Jiangnan. So he is called 江南四大才子, which just means southern around the river bank scholars, and he's called 名四家, which is Ming is just a dynasty's name, so Ming dynasty, and 四家 is just four great people. So 江南四大才子, it includes the first person called Tang Ying, and Zhu Yuming, Wen Zhenming, and Xu Zhenqing. So all of them are really good at both writing and doing calligraphy. Also, some are good at architecture and also painting. So therefore, people who are good at painting, you can see that Tang Ying and Wen Zhenming, they're also here. So it's repetitive. And Shenzhou is actually the teacher of all the three persons. So for Wen Zhenming, he has like some calligraphy of him. They have different styles. We have the development of hand character last time. So you can see like they have like this is really cursive or like semi-cursive. This is like the regular script. And also this is the paintings of Wen Zhenming. So this is Chinese ink painting. They paint on the mountains and the waters, and the person in the painting are really really small, and they live in the place that is like the mountains or like between the trees in a forest, because that's like the influence of Taoism. So which is basically say that people should like away from the secular world, or it's also like similar to Zen. So that's basically why they count like this. And for the Suzhou traditional garden, there are four really important elements: architectures and plants, waters, and rocks. So we will briefly introduce about the elements of the architecture first. So the first is eaves, which is yan, so it's wu yan, so it's the eaves. And we have like different form. So the first is like a coin, and the second like this one they have the different the patterns. This is like the flower, and they have this is called like the flying eaves because it's like looks like the wings, and they have like a phoenix here with a long tail, which is means like fitness means the people has high status, the person is really prodigious. This is actually I think I don't know if I have other picture for this, but this actually looks like a bat. And why is this the bat? I will talk about that later. And this is like different shapes. This is flower, and here is a like a tiger of a cat, which is really interesting. And he has two squirrels, and this is like the bat again. So the bat is called Fu, and it is actually same to Fu, which means lucky. So that's the first metaphor that we have introduced. The second is windows. So there's different shape of windows. It's it sometimes like have the same elements, so it have same metaphors, which we will see later when we talk about the pavage. So it's there like about lotus, with like orchards, with bamboos, patterns. So they are metaphors, and then they are gates. So they have different shape of gates, and also in most of the time from the gates, you will see a picture. So this is called borrowed view. And we will see that later also. And then it's about plants. And the first is about bamboos. So bamboos is really important because it symbols integrity. And also because a lot of people are just trying to pursue Zennism or like Taoism, they try to pursue the quietness, the tranquility. So the bamboo is a really great shelter for the sun. The like the shape also it's not really like giving flowers or all those characteristics make bamboos really important. So in traditional gardens, you can see bamboos everywhere. Also, like in our school, which is a school of like 1,000 years, we also have a lot of bamboos. So there's a person who is really famous. He says this, which is called 宁可食无肉，不可居无竹. So the first sentence is basically means that I don't know, like I rather, so like it means like I rather not eating meat than not have the bamboos. So, like why meat? Like probably someone just find like meat is not important at all. Like the boost is definitely more important. But like for that person, he is also a person who is like a foodie. He loves meat a lot, which the meat is actually named after him. It's called 东坡肉. So the person is called Su Dongpo or Su Shi. He is the most famous point in Northern Song Dynasty or like in the entire Song Dynasty. And also like the style of his poems is those like that is more strong, powerful, and not really restrained by anything, but really like with a lot of confidence that his style is. And then about flowers, so they have like plum blossom, which plum blossom grows in winter, so it also symbols like integrity, persistence, and endurance. And they have just different flowers for the decoration to make that a like a picture. And this is also like magnolia. Magnolia is also similar to plum blossom. So we have what is called 岁寒三友. So it's like the 3 friends of the winter. That is 松竹 and May. So basically, um, it's like the bamboos, the plum blossoms, and they are like what has grown, and they're like still, so they are evergreen. The evergreen still stays really green in winter. It doesn't really like weather in winter, so they are recognized as with good integrity. And also we have 四君子, which is 梅兰竹菊. So plum blossom, and this is orchid, this is bamboos, and this is chrysanthemum. And we will see a lot in the patterns of the windows, of the pavage, of everything. And also the lotus symbols like purity, it symbols also like integrity, it symbols just elegance. So there's a poem which is called 爱莲说, which is created in Song Dynasty by the people called Zhou Dunyi. And I think everyone like in China know about that. So it talks about lian, the lotus, which is called lian. Here, like the words. It is from the mud, but it's not like the mud never sticks on it, and it is like in the waves, but it's not like waving around, but it has that kind of integrity. It does not grow a lot of small branches, but it also grows straight. So it's like the person doesn't like want to have those like small money or like small fames or like small benefits. And also like even it's far from the loudest we can see it, smell is the fragments. So it's like the person, even we don't really know about that person, we can see that the person is really care about legality, care about like filial or something like that. So that is called why like land is always really important. And another really important is water things. So water is actually cherished by those like ancestors because they believe that water has great virtue. It cleans everything. It is a nature detergent. Water always go to lower parts, so it is humble. And water is so flexible. So if the container is squared and it becomes square, the container is round, it becomes round. So they think that they should learn from the water, try to purify themselves as pure as water. So there's a lot of different water things, and that's like several of them. So also like they believe the fish as some dynamics. So they will have this kind of fish which is called Liu. And then it's rocks. So there's like different like rocks all around. And for the rocks, it has a criteria which it needs to be 瘦、皱、漏、透. I have written here, I think. Yes. So basically, 瘦 is slender. So it looks like a young maiden, and the next is wrinkled. So it's like senior people's face, and then it's hollow. It's low, hollow, which it has a lot of natural holes, and then leaks toe, which means that these holes are connected with each other. So with low and toe, the light can go through that. It adds a lot of artistic elements, and it actually like borrows the nature parts. So also like if you burn the essence at the bottom, hopefully the smoke will come out at each hole. If you pour water from the top, you see many waterfalls. That's like the criteria for the stones. So we can see like they have a lot of different holes. They have different shapes. They have a lot of wrinkles, and they look slender in all, instead of really like funky or something like that. And then, so we would just go from, oh yeah, something that I want also to mention is that um, water in the mountains, also a lot of people think that it represents the balance of yin and yang. So that's what the idea from I Ching, a book which is from Zhou Dynasty, which is from like uh, 5,000 years or like more than 5,000 years ago. And then we will just start from the beginning. So this picture is just awful. So it's like called Orchid and Snow Parlor. So why it is named like this? Because it's named after a poem. So the owner compared himself as pure snow and orchid. And so there's a map. It cannot be seen clearly. I have another map. So they have three sections. It has the east sections, which means like rural, and the center it means essence, and the west means like west garden is like additional garden. So the east is called countryside retreat, and it's like pretty view of rural area. The center part is essence. It's the most beautiful part. It has like man-made pond, rockery, zigzag bridge. The west part was built in Qing Dynasty, which is new relatively to the other parts. So it's called additional one. And you can see there's a lot of water, a lot of white here. So that's all the water. Water is really important. And some people may wonder where the traditional garden is really located. It's like located in rural areas, in suburban, or it's located in urban. It's actually located at the center of the city, the most the place that was most people just going around. So actually, like they build walls, they build a lot of bamboos, just to make that it looks like a countryside, but actually like they occupies like the most expensive land ever in the city. That's several architecture and things that some we were covered about. They have nice names, and that's another photo of snow and orchard, polar, which is called 蓝雪塘. And the second is the stone, which is called decorating cloud peak. So this is the small piece of limestone, and it's called Tai Lake stone. So Tai Lake is one of the four greatest largest lake in China. So I think it's second largest, and it comes from the fresh water, and it's 30 miles west of this place. And this kind of rock has been on the bottom of the lake for centuries. So it's flushed by the water for quite a long time. That gives it holes, gives it wrinkles, and it's called 坠云峰. So 坠 is decorating, and 云 is cloud, and 峰 is peak. And also, why we have this rock? Because it can block our view. We will wonder what is behind the rock. So it's called like camouflage view or like hidden view. And the second is the Lotus Flower Pavilion, so it's called Furong. So Furong, so like lotus, like here it called Lian, and it has a lot of names. Lian is like the most simple, like most used one, but Furong is also another one. And Furong, when we talk about, it's always like the lian with flower. Just like Furong is, we would think about the flower instead of like the lotus leaf, like the lotus root. And so this is a like a really good place for just appreciating the lotus, especially in summer. And it's called Xie. So we have like sometimes Ting, which is pavilion, and Xie. It's like similar to pavilion, but it's not exact. Actually, there are like um 7 kinds of those similar similar architecture. They have Ting, Tai, Lou, Ge, Xuan, Xie, Fang. The Ting is just the most obvious pavilion, and Tai. Tai is I don't know what I get that here, but it's not really. It's like a open space. It's like a place like for giving some speech or something like that. Low is higher. Low can be like 5 stairs or 6 stairs or like 8 or 9 stairs. So it can be really tall. And good would be larger, much more spacious, and it's I think we will get to Ge later, and we'll get to Xuan later, and still that is just this one, and also Fang. Fang has a half of it is um Zhou, which is similar to the boat. So actually, it's a boat-like architecture. It's not a real boat, but the architecture really looks like boat, and it's half in water and half on land. So that's a lot of things summer, and that's a gate, and from the gates we can see the uh 芙蓉蟹, the lotus, the lotus sea, which is about the view. And then here we can see what is next to that architecture is called Tianquanting. So Tian is the sky and Quan is spring, so it's like the spring from the sky pavilion. It's also octagon, and it's something it's something that we can also like view the lotus from there. It is the where and was dug in the Yuan dynasty, and it's much older than the garden itself. And then we have millet fragments hall, so which is called Shu Xiangguan. So Shu is millet and Xiang is fragments. So this is the Shu Xiangguan. And then when we talk about the double corridor, so um so do you know like why do we need double corridor? Do someone like want to have a guess at that? So why it is double corridor? It's because like in the past, because of like those like in the past, a lot of culture just think that women and men cannot like work together. So in the past, they have like 2 corridors, and also actually like in a lot of culture in the past, like women is not like as important. So like women work on the left and the men work on the right, because the right means like more important. But like obviously today we can work anywhere, and also like today like no one just think about like such unequal idea. But like in the past, it's like this thing like a lot of like traditional cultures. Uh, the double corridor is called the Fulam in Chinese, and also like they have different lattice window. So they're actually like for the one in Hamburg Administrator's Garden, there are 25 lattice window on the wall with different patterns. And we can imagine that if they're just a white wall, so no windows at all, we could see nothing in the center part. It would not be very vivid. And if nothing covers, we can see everything directly in the center part. It's also not good either, because like the garden is about like hidden to make it larger, to make it more like seclus like more like seclusive. Also, like through the lattice window, we can see the scenery in the center section, but with some suspense. So when we move forward, the view change. One pace, one picture. One pace, one picture is called 一步换景. So basically, shift pace change view, which is like 一步换景. So the windows are like paintings. So I don't have like the picture here, but basically from like this lattice window, we can see the pagoda, and the pagoda is not in this garden, and they have borrowed it into the view to make it as a little bit left to the center. So it's called borrowed view again, and it's actually like it's called like North Temple Pagoda. It has over eight 80 years history, 800 years history, and it actually is the tallest building in the downtown. Because it's actually regulated that no buildings should be higher than the pagoda in the tradition, in the like in the downtown part or like in the Asian part of Suzhou city, but not like in my where I live. It has like it has like 300 meters tall building. So, but in this Gusu district, it's strictly forbidden to build higher ones. And then we will have four gardens. So the first is this one, and the second is this one, and the third is this one, and the fourth is this one. So the first, people can call it a peony garden. The second is called Lotus Pavilion. The third is called Waiting for Frost Pavilion. The final one is called Snow Fragment, and also Dance Tree Pavilion, or like Snow Fragment and Green Cloud Pavilion. So what it represents is spring, and this is summer because it's lotus. It's autumn because it's waiting frost, and also like the orange, or also like the maples that build around it. Those have distinct characteristic in autumn, and the winter one like snow is only seen in winter. But the first is not just called the peony, it's actually called 以秀亭, because it's also like from a poem of Du Fu, who we have talked last class. Du Fu is the poet, the sage poet. Um, so he's really like one of the most famous town poets are just Li Bai and Du Fu. So it's the thing is called 以秀相辗转，琳琅玉轻盈. So 以秀, so here like it's called like some embroidery, just like clustered together, but it's not embroidery. The 以秀 here is just the peony flowers. It just looks like embroidery, and it's not just called Lotus Pavilion, but it's called actually the wind of the lotus flows in all directions towards the pavilion. So it's 和风四面亭. The lotus, and this is wind and four directions. So four directions just means all directions here. And so it's also for like appreciating the lotus. And this is called waiting forest. And I have talked about like the plants just planted near it. And then last is 雪乡云蔚亭. So just like I said before, snow fragments and green cloud, but green cloud doesn't really mean green cloud. Green cloud means trees here. Dance trees awesome. Because like the tree is so tall, just like the cloud, and it's green, so it's green cloud. So it has a lot of metaphor, like again and again. And then this is called 剑山楼, so just viewing the mountain whole, or like mountain viewing tower. This is a double-story building, and what is special about it is that it has no stairs. Instead, like if you want to enter the second floor, you have to walk in the mountain, climbing the corridor, or just go up by steps in lockery. So you can enter this part, it's okay, but this part you cannot like go through this here, like go up there. You need to like go this part and just go here into this building. So special. And then this is called 远香堂. So 远 means distant, 香 means fragment, and 堂 is hall. So it's distant, fragment, hall. So this is a main reception hall in the garden, mainly for the wedding, funeral, big ceremonies, or hosting distinguished guests. And what's special about it is it has waters to flow under it. So the water we know that it has like high specific heat, so it can like absorb a lot of heat in summer. So it doesn't have air conditioner at that time, but it's cool down in summer. Also, it has like some holes at its base. So in the house, we can like put covers and just boil that. So in winter, the whole base is also like warmed up. So that's like how could people like use nature like or like air conditioner like things in the past. This is the inside view, and you can like appreciate the view, the sceneries outside of this hall. So all the windows, like there are all the windows and windows and windows. They don't have like stones or something like that because then you can see the views of all around of all directions. Then appreciate the lotus again, the lotus. And then we will talk about this architecture, which is near the distant Fragment Hall. And this is called Xiangzhou, which is called Scented Island, the I for island. And so here we can appreciate the special building. It is a combination of different forms of architecture. In the front, it's a terrace, and then pavilion and a house in the tower. It looks like a boat, like this. It looks like a boat, and it's like an ancient boat that people can like live there. And then it has like it's called Alpine Boat. In many like Chinese gardens, you can see it. Also, like even in royal gardens, they have boats with ornaments such as the marble boat in some palace in Beijing. This architecture sometimes can call like fang, which is I have talked about that. It's like half in the water and half on land, and both like. But here it's just called standard art. Doesn't kind of sound as fang. And also like something about this untying boat is like it's like untying boat. It's untying because it's closely related to the philosophy of Taoism, and Taoists believe that everything that exists has source in the pattern of development, and they call this Tao. So like Taoism compare us as boats, and the water that carries the boat represents the power of nature. So if we drive the boat at our will, regardless of the force of the water, we may run into another boat or even get shipwrecked. But if we try to be an empty boat, follow the rules of the water, we will be safe. So if the water flows, we go forward. If the water stops, we stand still. So that's to say that we need to like align oneself to the rules of the nature world and live a simple and balanced life in harmony with nature. So kind of environmentalist something they like also like inside the standard iron they have like Wen Zhenming, the architect that I mentioned who built the garden, who also like designed the garden. That's some of his paintings and calligraphy he started in standard iron. Also like he has actually like been like compared to like Chinese Michelangelo or something like that. So some of his painting, and this is his painting about the next architecture that we will introduce. That's called 小飞鸿. So 小 is little, and 飞 is flying, and 鸿 is just rainbow. So it's like a rainbow, and it's covered by so the bridge is covered by a corridor, so it's called corridor bridge. And in rainy days, what we need that is like in rainy days when people walk along that, they won't suffer from the raindrops. You can like take a look at this pond. So the reflection of the bridge swings with the water waves. It's just like a flying rainbow. So the bridge is called Little Flying Rainbow. This like some other. This is like not covered corridor, and this is also from Humble Administrator's Garden. It's in a zigzag pattern on the water. And then this one that we will introduce is the last architecture in the middle part. It's called Rain listening pavilion or listen to rain pavilion. Why is listen to rain? Why is so different? Because it actually has a banana tree here. So there's like a saying called 雨打芭蕉. So the rain hits on the banana leaves and then you can hear the sound. If the rain just hits elsewhere, you cannot hear the sound but only on the leaf. So 雨打芭蕉. So it's like you are hearing the rain not because the rain itself, but because it has the banana leaves. So also like they think that under the rain near the banana tree is a really good place to do some reading, drawing or painting, play the chess, or just sip the tea with their friends. And the banana leaves can just give a nice sound when the rain drops a pad on them. So the building is named Rain Listening Pavilion. It's like the music from the nature. And there's another view of the banana trees, and here it writes like 听雨轩. So I have write like 亭台楼阁, and also 宣泄坊. So 宣, the one of the architecture is like this. 轩 means like high, so like it's like a little bit higher than the normal building. And then we will go to the western section of the garden, which is the additional garden built in Qing Dynasty. The first is called 雨水同坐轩, is this one. So 雨水同坐轩 basically means who else can I sit with? 雨 just with, and 谁 just who, and 同 is like together, and 坐 is sit. So 轩 is again that kind of architecture. Why is called like who else can I sit with pavilion? Because it's a poem again by Su Donghuo or Su Shi, the person that I mentioned, who is like a foodie who really loves meat, but who loves bamboos more than the meat. So he just when they ask like when he write a poem like ask who can sit with me, what's the answer? The answer is just actually 明月清风我. So what does 明月清风我 means? It's just only breath and the moon, or like clean, or like bright moon and the clean breath. So that means like it's also like some kind of like seclusion, also like kind of like Buddhism, or like the solitude state that they appreciated. Also 明月清风 is like frugality. It's about not caring about fame, not caring about money, not caring about the competitions of the secular world, which has been so poisoned, which has been so like harm one's integrity. So he just wanted to said was nature. And also it's called a fan. It's called a fan pavilion because it looks like a fan. So like fan like is a something like people really scholars really love to have in ancient China, and also like the pounds on the fan, also like they write points on the fan, they write calligraphy on the fan. So it's also like in a fan shape, like the roof is in a fan shape, and also this window is also in a fan shape. And also it again has a borrowed view. So you can see like the bamboos. It has actually like this sign to put what behind this window. So they have designed that there needs to be a, like another like fan like building in this window. So it's called borrowed view again. The borrowed view sitting. So we have talked about the borrowed view in Furongxie, the first Lotus pavilion, and the borrowed view, which borrows the North Pagoda, the borrowed view here, and it's here also like not only borrowed view, but it has formed a painting with the two stones. Here like mountains, and here has the bamboos. It's the lotus. And the next one we will talk about is called 36 Mandarin Dog Hole. So Mandarin Dog it's called 鸳鸯. So it's like similar to war duck in North America. So it's actually like those kind of like dogs, the female Mandarin dogs and the male Mandarin dogs are always together. So this just symbols like happy couples. And so it's also like symbols lucky and just happiness, and the couples are always together. And so here is what inside look like. So there's a lot of different glosses, the blue glosses, and actually, at the time, the glosses is really important. It's like really expensive. Like first, like it's imported. Also like it's not really like common in China, so it's super super expensive. They use a lot here. Also like the shade of the glass just fall on the ground. It forms another painting, and they just like to borrow painting from nature all the time. And while I would talk about the next, um, like basically the most important architecture has already been discussed, so that is about the pavage. Um, so about the pavage, wait, it should not be pavage. So they have different patterns. So this is like the scone, and also here is Lotus. We have mentioned the importance of Lotus, the orchard symbols purity, integrity, and um, plum blossom about endurance in a hard situation. And this is the ice split pattern. It actually like talk about the diligence and also like the endurance of those students who just trying their best to study so hard and try to get a good score in the imperial entrance examination. So imperial entrance examination, which is called 科举考试, is the only way to be a post, be a like official post, official member in the past, and it only have 1 4 years. So every 4 years they need to be super well prepared for that. Then if they fail, they need to prepare for another round. And also like it has actually third official round, and also like it has also three like small rounds. So like it has a lot of rounds. The person who gets the first is called 状元, and the person who gets second is called 榜眼, and the first person who gets the third is called 探花, and the other who has got the position who have but hasn't got the first three is called 秀才. And also like Suzhou practice school that's called 状元之府, which is like the practice school of number one, because in Ming and Qing dynasty it has the most the most person who get number one in Ming and Qing dynasty. Already today, Suzhou practice school is actually like become our school. So it has like changed name, changed some architecture, and so basically, and that's a crown. Crown symbols longevity, because they believe that it lived really long, and also like, they believe that the crown came from heaven, so they call it not really like crown is he, and they call it 仙鹤. So 仙 means like heavenly or angelically, so it's like angelically crown, heavenly crown. And also like those people who die, sometimes they call them like 大鹤西去, so um just flying by the clouds and go to the west. So like for them, like the west is like the end of the world. It's like probably the place that they would go after they die. So like 下河西 is like the person just, but it's like for an honorable person, they die, they will call like 下河西 by flying by the train and go to the west, which means that. And this is a deer. So deer is called 鹿. So also like they have some is 梅花鹿. So plum blossom, deer, plum blossom. And for deer it first 鹿. 鹿 is similar to another 鹿. Another 鹿 was a different, like the same sound but different characters. It means like salary or money. So although they don't really care about the official post, they still have a lot of symbols, and symbols like wealth or money. So it's important for them. And this is 福. So 蝙蝠, the bat is the fu, 蝙蝠, fu is similar to luck. So fu is just like the most common words uh, for like all the festivals. Like in the spring festival, people would stick fu on the door and they would stick the fu upside down, which means the fu came fall, which fu fall fall is actually like falling down, is falling on you. So like the luck falling on you, and also like the butterfly, and then also have like the shrimps. Suzhou is like the water town, so it has like a lot of shrimps and fish, um, orchid, lotus, lotus again, lotus love butterfly, lotus and fish, lotus and lotus and lotus and lotus, and dragonfly. So it's interesting that for water is so important. We have talked about it's like detergent, it's flexible. So when they don't have like space for water, they will also like try to represent water. Dragonfly is one way to represent water because like when it's going to rain, the dragonfly will flow very low. So like dragonfly is also like a symbol for the water because it's a symbol for the rain. And also so there's a garden that it doesn't have like space for the water. So it names its architecture to cloud because the cloud is also made out of water, and also like why jostle of lotus? Probably not only because lotus in itself is important, but water is important. And lotus again, and crown again, and money. That's like the coin money. Also, like a lot of eves, I forgot to mention, like on a lot of eves, they have the coin pattern, like just for giving more money to whales. Probably they themselves doesn't care about that, but like they still need to like care for the money for their children. So yeah, and also interesting fact of Humble Administrator's Garden is that actually after the person called Wang Xianchen, who like asked Wen Zhenming to construct this garden, he just his son just lost his garden immediately through gambling. So, probably like why they also like they don't care about money, but they should like care about the wealth of their children. There again, and also like this is in fan shape. So like they in ancient China they love to pound the lotus or other Chinese pounding on the fan. This is a knot also for happiness and lucky. Um, we have different, and then it came to the end. So this is called Panzai. So pen is just like a bottle or like a pen, and Zai is just um Jai is just about planting. So planting in a pen or planting in a bottle, that's something that has been enjoyed because it's something that like they can just put the things like they love to like some fake things, but the miniature of the things like all the mountains, all the rocks that I had mentioned in like in the slides, it's called um they're called like 假山, so they're called fake mountain or artificial mountain. They're all like not naturally here because it's in the middle of the city. They are just all borrowed from the mountains or like traveled far away to this garden. But they love to like make some nature even if not naturally exist. So this is really small. It's not like the tree should be the pine tree should be like really really large, but this is just like about the size of a laptop or like a little larger than a laptop. But it just makes that looks like a rare tree, a rare really really grand tree. So that's basically all about Suzhou Garden. And um, so do you have like any questions? Do you like have questions about like the metaphors or something else? Um, if not, actually I can talk about what is like written on those garden. So I will go back to like this page. So they have the words written on those columns. So the first here it writes it's called 生平直且勤, which is called for a whole life the person is so integrate and diligent. And here is 处事和而后. So it's just the way that the person is dealing with the world should be harmonious, and also the person should be honest, or like the person should be um just should be tolerant. That's like the traditional Chinese ideas, like from Confucianism or like from Taoism, so mostly from Confucianism, I think. And so here, it also have the words right on the columns, which is 四壁荷花三面柳. So it's like four directions of lotus and three directions of the willows. So you can see it's really like three directions of willows. This direction doesn't have willows, but the lotus is like all around. And 半潭秋水一房山. 半潭秋水is like half of the autumn water and a house of mountains. Like it's less interesting expressions like a house of mountains. There's like a lot of mountains, so they love like to be living mountains. Although in the city, which is so pretentious. And 淡潭秋水 is like it's summer, it's not autumn, so it's like halfway into the autumn, but it's not. And also like next to it is the autumn, so like the pavilion for autumn, so you can see like only half of it. And then it's this waiting frost pavilion. And so the words that are written here is 墙外青山横带色. So it's the the green mountain outside of the wall. It has like the green color or like black color, and 门前流水带花香. So the water that just flows before the gate, it has the fragrance. So dye, it means 黑, it means black. So like it's like black, like the ink is like what used in calligraphy and mostly in the Chinese painting. So the color is important. Also like the architecture in Suzhou, like around Suzhou, is described as 粉墙黛瓦. So 粉 is like whitish and or like pinkish or whitish dye. 粉墙 墙 is the wall, and dye is black, and wa is just those stones on the roof. So 粉墙黛瓦 is just describing that it has like white and also like the black, just like the Chinese ink painting. But like those architecture in Beijing is like red and yellow, so it doesn't really look like traditional Chinese painting. So that's like the difference. And also here it also has a words like on the two columns. It's 蝉噪林愈静，鸟鸣山可幽. This is also from a poem about Taoism or like about Buddhism. So it's about uh the cicadas. When the cicadas are just making so much noise, actually the forest is much more quiet. And when the birds are chirping around, actually the mountain is much tranquil, because um like the first is because like only when everything is just so quiet, then you can listen to the sound of the cedars and also the birds, and also like through the contrast. It's because so the contrast of this noise of the cedars can make the forest more quiet. And also it's probably just not because of contrast, or not because of like not because like comparison, but it's because that the heart is quiet, the mind is quiet, so everything they see is quiet. So this is like the Taoism thinking. So every column have those words, and the words should be uh, read from right to left instead of left to right. So here is also right to left instead of left to right. So here is 远相堂. It's not 堂相远. So it's always right to left, right and then left. So this is up and down. This one right and then up and down, left. So it follows like this. All the architecture here is like more Asian, so it's right to left. And also like follow the Asian like calligraphy, paintings, it's all like right to left. And it's only like to the modern days because of like the influence of other language, it becomes standardized to like right to left, left to right instead of right to left. And do you have any questions? Do you have like any questions? You can like ask here, and I will wait for several minutes. And also, if you have anything else to do, you are free to leave. You can ask like any random questions. You can like feel free to unmute yourself or type in the chat box.